Hey YouTube, it's Craig here, otherwise known as Cool Guy. I am an artist, an Australian artist based in Japan, and this video is 1 in 12 each month in 2026. I'm making a video to share with you my artist journey. In 2021, I made a promise to everybody that I would create 1,000 artworks in 10 years. To do that, I create 2 collections of 50 artworks each year, and for each collection I try and work in a different medium. The theme for the project is monsters, and I chose monsters because they can be dark and scary, but also fun and playful, and it's been a fantastic source of inspiration. One of the first things I'm going to share with you in June's video is this booklet, 48-page booklet, which shares some of the highlights from the last 6 years. I have 150 of these, and I'm going to be taking them around to different artists, studios and galleries in Tokyo to introduce to people what it is I do. I'm also going to catch up this month with Kasumi Koji-san. Kasumi-san is an art dealer, and she's usually based in Dubai. She's back in Tokyo at the moment. Every time I catch up with Kasumi-san, she introduces me to interesting new people and gallery spaces here in Tokyo. This month we go to Terrada Art Complex, which is a giant art complex with many galleries in Tennozu Isle in Tokyo. And we're going to have a look at some of the artwork that's there, as well as meet with a green tea sommelier at the end of that day. So it'll be interesting. I'll share some of that as well. I'm also going to share more of the punch needle embroidery. If you've been watching the videos so far this year, you'll have seen that I'm experimenting with punch needle for a future collection, and you'll see a bit more of that, as well as a bit of a surprise at the end of that segment. I'm also going to talk a little bit about the creative residency. If you've been watching the videos this year, you'll know I've been working on this creative residence business idea, and I'm going to share some of the challenges that I've had with that so far. I've also in June been talking with a global brand about a future possible collaboration. It does look like one of my upcoming collections will be a collaboration with that brand, and I can share more about that in next month's video in July. Being June, it has been very wet. It's the rainy season here. It's rained virtually non-stop so far this month, but that hasn't stopped me from having a really interesting month. Looking forward to sharing it with you in this video. I'll catch up with you again at the end of the video. Thanks for watching. I'll talk to you again then. I think if you had have handed me a blank piece of paper and a pencil in 2021 before I started this project, I probably would have been blank. I would have asked, what's the brief? What's the purpose of what I'm doing? You know, one of the reasons for starting this project was to reconnect with that imagination we have as children. It's playful, uninhibited, and I think we lose that often as we get older, and that was one of the reasons for starting this project, was to reconnect with that. And I can confidently say now that if you handed me a piece of paper with a pencil, I would squiggle some lines and kind of look at them, and I would be able to look at those sketches and then work it into something from my imagination. That's due to, you know, this last 6 years of creating this artwork that's featured in this catalogue. I love the quote, "Anything you can imagine is real," and I think it's our job, as our role as artists, to bring our imagination into reality. In the terms of this Ghoul project, I frame my imagination as a physical place, and I talk about it in terms of me traveling to this place, and the artworks that I create are objects that I've brought back from that world into ours. And the reason I do that is it allows me to build story and narrative around my journey. A big source of inspiration for me is ancient artifacts, and I love the idea that these objects that we have now are the only remaining clues we have to ancient cultures, ancient people, and the mystery around that. In some cases we have artifacts we know very little about their origins, and we're left to guess about the people that created them. And often when I'm creating artwork for the Gore project, I'm trying to create that kind of mystery and artifacts, strange objects that ask questions and create mystery. So it's been great to create this catalogue of the last 6 years' work. It feels like putting a stake in the ground. It's allowed me to reflect on what I've created, get a better picture about what this project means, and it's going to just help me focus even more as I continue creating collections for the next 4 years. So this is Terrada Art Complex. There's 2 buildings on this site, and they're multi-story buildings filled with galleries. This was Maki Gallery, and Ushiro Tomohito-san created these pieces which are all around the theme. It's called Welcome to the Country, and they're all abstract interpretations of 1970s, 1980s nostalgic Marlboro advertising. And they all had this really subtle texture, I think airbrushed, multicolored airbrushed texture on them, and I really love them. And Ushiro-san comes from an art direction design background, which I think shows, and he did a really good job of filling this huge gallery space with his work. One of the floors at Terrada is just studio spaces. It's divided into about 20 studio spaces for artists, and I've put my name down on a waiting list. I believe it's a long waiting list, so I'm not sure if I'll hear back from them, but it would be great. I would jump at the chance to rent a space for 6 to 12 months and create work there, and be a fantastic opportunity to meet other artists as well. Then we went to in the same complex, there's a green tea sommelier, and she walked us through, virtually gave us a tour of the creation of this green tea, and she brewed it with ice, which was really unusual. And by using ice as opposed to boiling it, it completely changes the flavor profile. And the first sample of green tea that I was given through this brewing process, it was almost as thick as soup. It was really interesting, beautiful flavor, pure flavor, and it was a great experience to do that. This is probably the 5th or 6th punch needle embroidered piece that I've created so far, and each one has been a little bit different, experimenting with the different concepts. I think in the last video I talked about deciding on the concept, which was based on the eye idols of Tel Brak, those relics from the Syrian desert. And here I am creating one of those indicative pieces. And when I was creating this piece, I kind of made a hard decision, a difficult decision, that I would set this aside, the punch needle aside, and work on another project that I've started developing. And the reason for that is that given the effort involved, the incredible manual labor that's involved in creating these, and to create 50 of them, I'm just not confident enough with the concept to follow through. And never say never, I might come back to it, and I'd at least like to create one big punch needle piece using this concept. But I think there's 2 reasons. One, the manual effort involved and the payoff, I'm not sure it's worth it. And two, this other idea I have and what I've been working on is I'm just really excited about it at the moment. So apologies to anyone watching that was really hoping to see me create this punch needle embroidered collection. But for the time being, I'm going to set it aside and move on to this other collection, which I'll share with you in a moment. One morning in June, it was one of the few sunny mornings, I sat down with the pad of paper. I didn't really have any goal in mind. I separated the page up into a grid and I just started drawing, and it was really very automatic drawing. I wasn't really thinking about it. I draw some shapes, I'd added some eyes here, a mouth there, some legs, some fingers, and before I knew it, I'd filled up this page with these characters. And I kept going. So the next morning I did it again, then the morning after that, and pretty soon I had 6 pages full of these characters. They started very rudimentary, and then over time I started refining them more, and I felt something with creating these characters that I hadn't felt with the punch needle embroidery, and it was an excitement, and I could feel this free-flowing creativity, and I wanted to explore more. I went back to the art store, I bought some Copic color markers and some Poscas, and I've been experimenting and trying to work out where this could go, and I think this is going to be the next Ghoul collection. So I'm going to keep going, keep experimenting, and I need to kind of work out now how I actually turn these into finished pieces. But really excited, and this will definitely be featured more in July's video. So if you've been watching this year's videos, you'll have seen that I've been working on this creative residency business, and there are a limited amount of creative residencies in Tokyo, and they're very institutional. They're 3 months long, and they expect you to have a bachelor in fine arts or a master's in fine arts, and it's very much a part of the fine art world. Whereas I was thinking about a flexible design or a flexible creative space for people traveling to Japan who not only want to absorb all of the inspiration that this city has to offer, but to also execute their project and create while they're here amongst it all. And there just isn't really any place to do that here at the moment. I still think it's a great idea, but after doing a lot of research and deciding that I would apply to the Japan Finance Corporation, the JFC. Japan Finance Corporation is government-backed startup loans, and they have very favorable terms, 2 years, deferred payments, things like that. And to sit down with the JFC and propose my business, I had to do a lot of homework first, a lot of documentation and cash flow projections, startup costs, and basically prove that it would be a viable business. And I'm glad that I went through that process, because it was a lot of work, but it showed me that if I was to actually start a creative residency business here in Tokyo, it would be an extremely risky business, unfortunately. To give you an anecdote, one of the first people I talked to about this idea was Louis Mendo, who ran Almost Perfect, a successful creative residency that ran in Tokyo for 5 or 6 years. But the first thing that Louis said to me when I told him that I was thinking of doing this was that you'll struggle to make any money. And Louis was working as an illustrator alongside running the creative residency. And I didn't take his advice. I thought, I'm going to try and make this work. I went and talked to a lot of business owners. Some of my ideas were, well, what if I put a cafe gallery on the first floor, and the artist can be on the third floor. The second floor is studio space for them to create. And then I thought, what about if I put a print business on the second floor? Have a risograph machine in the studio space and run a print business as well. But after talking to business owners who run cafes, run print shops, I realized that they're both very low margin businesses. You have to be making an incredible amount of coffees per day or incredible amount of prints per day to break even, let alone making a profit. And it seems like, at least from the people that I've talked to that making a 5% profit as a cafe owner is doing really well. So basically, I had this, what seemed on paper to be this amazing idea where it would be, I would be able to provide a space for artists to create and stay in Tokyo. There would be a workshop space with a risograph machine, which was so exciting to me to do that, and to have a gallery and a cafe on the first floor. There would be kind of cross-cultural overlap there with the artist, the person staying, the traveller staying in the space, and with the local community, and to be able to show their work in that cafe gallery. But after doing all that work, doing 36-month cash flow projections, working out in minute detail what all the costs would be, it's not a viable business. And the more I looked at creative residencies around the world, the more I saw businesses that were funded by benefactors and basically that were run through charity, really. I think there still is a possibility to run a profitable creative residency business, but I haven't completely worked that out. And it seemed to me, as the more I worked on this idea, the business plan was that it would work if I built it around a design and art studio. So I have my art practice, and I can certainly run a design studio. If I can make that, build up my client base, particularly on the design side here in Tokyo, and then add on a studio space that has accommodation or a studio space that has a cafe gallery as part of that, then it might work. But it needs that commercial aspect to it. So I'm still learning. If you have any ideas yourself, if you've run a creative residency, if you've stayed in a creative residency, if you have any ideas at all around how to make that a profitable business, then please reach out and tell me what you think. So that's it for June, folks. I'll catch you again in July for the next step in this journey.